Hey guys, Jeeps here, and welcome back to MechWarrior Online Open Beta. Yesterday was a patch day, and that means new content for everyone. And I am here, as always, to give you a heads up of what we have gotten. Now, I will link the full patch notes in the description. This will have all of the extensive, balance changes and tweaks and stuff. We're just going to focus in here on the big highlights, which will then culminate in showing off the new mech. So I guess first of all, the cat is out of the bag. There is a new mech. Well, there's a new mech variant, actually. Well, as you can see, I've called it the Fire Knife here. It is let's go and look at it all official-like, shall we? The Centurion CN9D. This gives us a third Centurion variant, not counting the Yenlo Wang, or the one they removed when they added the Yenlo Wang. Come on, just bring it back, even though that one I didn't really like. But this is a very expensive mech, and looking at this, it's going to be hard to see at first why. Now, when I say very expensive, I mean this is 8,158,590 C-bills, or 3,265 MechWarrior credits. Compare this to the other Centurions, which are in the mid-3 million range, and the 1.4 thousand MC range is really expensive. Now, again, beta is beta. Part of why it's hard to see why it's so expensive is they've left out a couple of key details here. Those being, this is not meant to say standard. This does come standard with the endo steel structure. It has an XL 300 rated engine in it, and the new Artemis IV system, which I'll get to in a bit. So that is why this costs so much. Endo steel and the XL engine alone are a lot, and I mean a lot, of credits. That also explains why this mech is so fast. So unlike most Centurions, which are in the 60km/h range, this is a 97.2 stock. Heat sinks are about the same as the non-laser one, so same as the C99A, just has the standard 10. 272 armor, again, that's the standard Centurion armor. It is equipped with the 2 medium lasers and LRM-10 that you are accustomed to on pretty much, again, every Centurion except Yenlo Wang. However, that LRM-10 does have the Artemis system. Again, get to that in a second. And then it has an LB-10X assault cannon, or autocannon. I always say assault cannon. Whatever, it's the same thing. Which is the shotgun equivalent. This is an interesting gun. In the cannon and the tabletop and stuff like that, normally this can actually fire any sort of autocannon rounds. But in this, it only has the flechette or shotgun, or whatever you want to call them, rounds. That is probably because if it could take all of them, it really would just be strictly better than the AC-10, and they're, for game balance reasons, trying to avoid that, because it actually weighs less and takes up one less slot than the standard AC-10. Now, it does 10 damage, but this is spread around a cluster. However, this does make it very, very good at damaging areas that have already had their armor stripped away, much like SRMs. In fact, I posit that if you were to take this mech and strip off the LRMs and give it some maybe a couple SRMs, as you can see, it has 2 missile hardpoints with the LB-10X, this thing could be very, very dangerous, especially coupled with its speed and relatively good armor for something that fast, at finishing off damaged mechs, just swooping out of the flanks and just obliterating something that's already had the armor stripped off of its torso. Potentially very, very scary. Now, moving right along, let's hop over to the upgrades tab. Let's take a look at this Artemis system. Now, much like the other upgrades, it is standard cost to upgrade it to be in your mech. It takes 1 slot and 1 ton. I believe this may actually be per missile system. Also, I believe this then makes your missile, I don't know. It seems like it makes everything slightly more expensive because now you are buying LRMs. Well, no, sorry, it does not do that. It takes up 1 slot and 1 ton on its own. And then you're buying it for each of your own of the missile systems you have equipped. They're then heavier, have an extra slot. Your ammo's a little more expensive, so the ammo technically has this equipped on it. But what does it all do? You've probably read it now down here. It makes SRMs actually have a slight homing capability. I don't think this works exactly like the Streak SRMs. I believe this is just an automated dummy system. It will home in slightly, which means it's more likely to hit a central location. And it makes LRMs group closer together. This makes LRMs very, very scary. It makes them also a little better at tracking, so say if you lose the lock, they might still be a bit more likely to hit something. It makes missiles very, very frightening, but of course at a cost. It is 500,000 C-bills to equip it, or at least to unequip it. I am assuming it's the same equip cost. And that's pretty powerful. In fact, for the sake of comparison, let's go see if it is. We'll go over to my Atlas here, upgrades. No, it probably is actually based on multiple variables then. Okay, it looks like the slots and stuff, this just does update per your missile systems. It is 1 slot and 1 ton per missile system you have equipped. Now it's cleared up! I should have done my research first. Yay! That is a pretty cool system. Those are the two really big things that were released in this patch, but we do have a few other things. There's been an update to the Forest Colony map. It now has, in that kind of big open area in the middle, there is a remnant of a crashed ship. This offers cover so that it's not quite so dominant if you are playing as a very long-range snipey or LRM boat, because there was nowhere to hide in that big stretch. Now there is, so brawlers can have a bit more of a chance going up through the middle. They've also added a snow variant. This is something they had said they were going to be doing, again, to Forest Colony. This, other than looking different, which is pretty cool, has a lower ambient temperature, much like Frozen City. This just means you can blast away a little bit more and not have to worry about overheating. Again, much like Frozen City, and much unlike Caustic. Oh, Caustic, you hurt so bad. But that's very cool. Very, very cool. And finally, Phase 1 of the matchmaking system has gone in. Now, those of us in closed beta have been following this for a while, but they haven't really mentioned it since it went into open beta. The way it now works is you cannot group as a team of more than 4 people, but this is because, well, not but, I guess. This is because previously the game had felt very, very much like 8-man teams could just dominate everything. And 8-man teams, yes, they should be better, but frankly, playing an 8-man team versus an 8-man pug, it's not even fun for either party involved. You just effortlessly stomp them as the team, and the pug does not have a chance. This is the stopgap midway until they get the system in that pretty much 8-man teams will play against other 8-man teams, meaning it is always a good fight. You can then team up to 4-man and be matched with 4 other pugs. Possibly also another 4-man team acting separately. Don't quote me on that, however. I don't think they've said that in the thing. That is pure speculation on my part. But you can only group up in up to a group of 4 now. That is a little disappointing, but again, this is only phase 1 of a 2-phase rollout of the matchmaking system. It is a stopgap measure, it is temporary, and in that light, I'd say it's fine. It stops the complete and utter pug stomping, and 4 people on a team are still going to dominate a pug. That's just how it works. Teamwork is critical in this game. Pugs just cannot quite keep up with it. So, that is our rundown on the major highlights, let's say, of this patch. Join me for part 2, which will be a brief look at the CN9D. This will let us show off the Artemis a little bit. We're just going to run it stock, and that will be coming up in a part 2 shortly after this, so hope you enjoyed. As always, like, subscribe, share with your friends, leave a comment if you have got anything you would like to discuss. If you would like to friend me in-game, my pilot name is Atna, that is A-T-N-A. You've probably seen it all over the channel. It's the name of the channel, more or less. Go ahead and friend me. I'm a friendly guy. That's it for now, my friends. As always, I've been Jeeps, and I'll talk to you guys very soon when we do part 2. Ha! Switch the ending on you.